Hello everyone, Angoff here. Well, I'm in my garage today, but I'm not here to work on the bike because she's running beautifully at the minute, as she always does. She's a good old girl. But what we are here to work on is the Air Arms S410 silencer. Now, this is a pretty good silencer by itself, but it can be improved based on the internals that you find in the Varrock silencer. And I think everyone would agree that the Varrock silencer is basically the industry standard. If you can get your silencer anywhere near the Varrock standard, then you're doing pretty well. But like I said, this is okay by itself, but with some simple modifications it can be made a little bit better. So first thing we've got to do is strip these end caps off, which in itself can be a right pain. So we're going to have to do it in the vise and use the heat gun. So I'll get her clamped up and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I've got it clamped in the vise now. Tight enough to hold it, because you're going to have to exert some pressure on it to unscrew it. Like I said, it depends on how generous the Loctite monkey was feeling when it was put on at the factory. The other one of these that I've done, I managed to do it with a hairdryer, but this one, the hairdryer wouldn't budge it, so it's had to go in the vise, and I'm going to have to use the hot air gun on it. So we'll try this end first, because this is the end that's going to give you the most trouble, and hopefully we'll be able to get it off without too much hassle. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so I've got it clamped in the vise now. There's just a very small lip here that you could just got to catch it on the jaws of the vise. I mean, you're probably going to end up marking the silencer, because you have to do it up tight enough that it'll get a grip. So when you turn this bit, the bit in the vise is still holding. So yeah, you're probably going to mark it, but you can just touch it up with a bit of matte black spray afterwards. I got some gloves because it depends how much Loctite is put on it, on how difficult it's going to be to get off. And I've got the hot air gun. The first one I managed to undo with a hairdryer, but this one the hairdryer wouldn't touch it, so I'm just going to use it on a low setting, and well, we'll just have to see. So we'll give it a go and see if we can get this cap undone. Just heating it up, moving it around. Right, let's give that a try. Okay, that's okay to hold at the minute. Oh, that wasn't actually too bad. Like I said, I tried this one with a hairdryer, but I had no joy at all. There we go, that's that end off. So I'll flip it up in the vise and we'll take this end off, and then we can start stripping it out and making the new internals for it. Okay, so now we've got it in the vise the other way up, so the cone's pointing down. We're going to do the same. This end generally comes off a lot easier, so we shouldn't have to give it quite so much heat. Right, we'll try that. Oh yeah, easy. Easy peasy. Right, so there we go. We've now got it in 3 bits. So we've got the cap, the end and the middle. So yeah, we'll see what's inside of it now. I'll just move this camera so we can see. Okay, so now we've got the ends off, we can see what's inside. Now we unscrewed both ends again. I'll just put them back in for effect. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but the amount of Loctite on those threads, the Loctite monkey was obviously being paid double time. Some of them have hardly any, and some are like this. This is absolutely coated. But I mean, you know, the heat gun got you just have to take your time, and so there's a few marks on the edge now from where it was gripped in the vise. But we can just lightly sand that off, and we'll give it a coat with matte black paint when we're finished. But here on the inside, you can see that there's a spring and some scouring pad material, so we'll strip that out in a minute and see what it looks like. So there's a spring, some wrapping for the spring, and well, just some scouring pad material, and it'll be the same at the other end. Spring, you see, I mean, there's Loctite on both of these. That's how much Loctite they used. It's run down into the main thing. Now, in the middle there, we have a baffle, which can be a bit of a pain to get out. So I'm going to use a big old screwdriver and just see if I can tap it to the bottom. That's not too bad, this one. Then we'll put it up the other way and see if I can knock it out through. There we go. So yeah, they put a baffle in. So there you go. We've now got an empty tube. So we can clean that out because it's a bit filthy. And then we'll get our new stuff out and we'll start modifying this. Okay, so this is the stuff we're going to be using to make the new internals for the silencer. I got to say a big thanks to Pingus God, Ben, from the Air Arms Owners Club, because he sent me this stuff for absolutely nothing, which is very generous of him. And in fact, any of you who own any Air Arms rifles, the airarmsownersclub.com is just a wealth of knowledge, and the friendliest forum I am a member of, so I heartily recommend joining that. So what we need 3 hair curlers. As you can see, I've taken the red stuff off this middle one, and I've used a Dremel because there's a little lip. Let's see if I don't know if the camera will pick it up. There is a tiny little lip. Oh, as you can see it there. And I'm sure the pellet won't clip it, but I'm just going to use the Dremel. I've done it on this one. Use the Dremel and one of the little stones to flatten it off, and then just file it down with a small file. Just to make sure there's nothing that the pellet can clip. Some felt material. This is just nice white felt, and a couple of new washers that we're going to use for baffles. These are M5 or 1 inch in old money, but according to Ben, they need to have an 8mm hole in them. Well, all the ones I had here in the garage, the hole was too big, so I managed to get these at the local hardware shop. These are M5 with a 5mm hole, so we'll drill them out to 8mm, and they will make our baffles. So we're going to use 2 long curlers and then a short one, with the baffles in the middle, the same as the Virox silencer. So I'm going to measure up my tube here and cut me curlers, and we'll drill out the baffles a minute, and then we'll come back when we've got our pieces all ready to reassemble. Right, well here we are. I've measured up my hair curlers. Like I said, I've gone for the Virox system because that seems to work very well. Where we've got there's the end, obviously, and then we've got a long hair curler, a baffle, which was I've drilled out to 8mm, and then a short hair curler, another baffle, and then a long one, and the end cap. I've rolled these so they're not super tight, but so there's a bit of room, but they're not loose either. You'll have to experiment with whatever felt you're using. But all that's left for me to do now is assemble this together, and then I've got 2 of these. Like I said, I'm going to put the original internals back into one, and then modify the other one, and I'll take them both up to the field, and we'll do a firing test from 30 yards towards the camera with both silencers to see if there's any audible difference. So I shall see you up the field, and we'll see if all this hard work has been fruitful. Okay, so we've come up to the field now to do a test. I've got 30 yards marked out with some old daffodil boxes here. The first silencer we're going to try is the standard air arm. So this is how it will come if you buy one out of the shop. And we're going to take 3 shots at 30 yards. There's a little bit of side wind right to left, but it'll be the same for both silencers. So 3 shots with a standard air arm silencer, and then we'll do 3 shots at the same distance with the one we've just modified, and hopefully there'll be some difference. Okay, now we're going to try 3 shots with the modified silencer. So this is the one we've just done in the garage, and again 30 yards, and we're going to see if there's any difference over the standard silencer. Okay, well there you have it. I listened to the audio on those 2 clips a few times, and I think the modified silencer just about edges it. I mean, there's not a lot of difference. Like I said, the air arm silencer is perfectly fine the way you buy it, but if you're like me and you just can't help tinkering with things, you know, it has made it a little bit better. And it was definitely quieter at the gun end when I was firing, so that just gives you a bit of a psychological boost, if nothing else. So yeah, a little mod worth doing. It only cost a couple of £. You can pick up the hair curlers in the factory shops or the pound shops, and the felt in any fabric shop. And I think the washers were 2p each, so about £2. So it's worth having a go. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for some more. While I'm not out hunting, I shall be doing some reviews on my gear and stuff, because I bought loads of new stuff recently. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.